Hace 3 años ni podía pronunciar la R en español. Hoy puedo hablar con fluidez, tengo mucha confianza en mí mismo y tengo aprobado el examen de nivel C2 en español. Y hoy te quiero dar una guía explicando lo que hice yo para llegar supuestamente el nivel más alto en español, básicamente ahorrándote todo el tiempo que desperdicié buscando la mejor manera de aprender, diferentes trucos, diferentes cursos. Te voy a dar una guía destilada, básicamente recopilando todo este conocimiento para que aprendas mejor que yo. Look, when I started, I made all the mistakes, memorizing random vocabulary lists, grinding random grammar tables that didn't make any sense to me, and just feeling really stuck because nothing really ended up sticking with me. I would feel like I knew something, I knew how to conjugate a verb, and then when I would actually go to have a conversation, it really wouldn't come out of me. But once I stopped treating Spanish like a school subject and started treating it like a skill, like something I could include in my everyday life, everything changed. I realized fluency isn't about talent. It's about building the right habits and surrounding yourself with the language until it becomes second nature. And that's what I did. So look, if you've ever dreamed of speaking a language fluently, not just at a tourist level, not just being able to, ask for a croissant or whatever, it's really about getting to a point where you can communicate at a near native level if you want to go that far. And if you don't want to go that far, getting to a pretty good level of fluency. It all depends on your goals, and I'm going to show you how you can do it. Step number 1, massive input. So without really knowing what I was doing, for the first 6 months of my learning process, I focused almost entirely on listening and reading. I read a ton of books, graded readers. There's a great book by Ali Richards actually called Short Stories in Spanish for Beginners. I read that book. It taught me I believe the 1,000 most common words in the language, and that allowed me to gradually, climb those stairs of input and read Harry Potter and then move on to, more advanced books along the journey till eventually I got to a point where I could read whatever I wanted. Honestly, at first, I barely understood anything, but as I kept going, my brain kept picking up on those patterns and seeing things before that didn't really make any sense, and suddenly having a lot of clarity on understanding, oh, that's why it's like that. Step number 2, don't study words, collect phrases. The problem with a lot of flashcard apps, I've noticed, isn't actually the flashcard app itself. It's how people are using the applications, how they're constructing their deck. At the end of the day, if you have a card like table, and then on the other side you have mesa, the problem with that is you're going to have that literal translation from English in your brain without understanding how that word would actually be used in a phrase. For example, in English we say to set the table, but in Spanish it isn't like that. You say poner la mesa, pon la mesa. So if you want to learn the word table, it would be helpful to have a card like mesa, poner la mesa, or pon la mesa. And then on the other side to set the table. And then you're learning multiple things at once. You're learning not only the word, but also its natural usage. At the end of the day, languages are patterns, not puzzles. So learn words as they're actually used. Step number 3, active output, but at the right time. After months of input, I started to speak every day. There was a period where I was speaking for at least an hour every day for about 3 to 4 months, and that brought me up to the intermediate level. At first, I couldn't really string sentences together very well, but because my brain had already absorbed so many patterns from a ton of input, the fluency just kind of clicked. All of a sudden, I wasn't translating, I was just thinking in Spanish. It was a very sudden shift that without all of that previous input, I wouldn't have ever reached. Step number 4, immerse like a native. Honestly, and this is extreme, a lot of people aren't going to want to go this far, and it does depend on the level that you want to reach in the language. But if you want to reach a C1, a C2, a really high level in the language, you've got to immerse like a native. You have to make Spanish or whatever language you're learning almost unavoidable. So your phone, your YouTube, your music, almost everything should be in the language you want to learn. I would say aim for like a 90 to 10% split between your target language and your native language. In my case, I joined online groups on Discord. I practiced with natives there. I even would think in Spanish throughout the day. I'd talk to my dog, I'd talk to my cat. The push to C2. Once I was conversational, I started to aim higher. I read novels, I wrote essays, I recorded myself, and I corrected tiny little mistakes, especially prepositions that I would notice. And again, I really want to drive home the idea that reading is so key. Once I got to B2, I felt like, in terms of everyday conversations, I wasn't learning new words. New words would pop up very infrequently. So by reading constantly, I was exposing myself to those more advanced words and slowly picking up on that advanced vocabulary and grammar that I needed to pass those tests. Because the DELE C1 and the DELE C2 are not a joke, guys. So if you've ever thought, I'll never be fluent, I'm not talented, this guy on camera just has like some natural talent and that's why he learned Spanish, I just want you to know that this is something anyone can do. It's just a matter of putting in the hours, being consistent, and I promise you that if you build the right habits, you can do this too. If you guys are interested in a full guide breaking down exactly how I did this step by step, I'd love to make it in the future. And if this video helped you, subscribe, give it a like. I'll be sharing everything I learned so you can reach fluency faster. I plan on making more videos in the future about language learning so that you guys keep learning fast and enjoying the process. All right, thanks for your time.